I have got Helen waiting for us. Helen from Florida. She's got a question for you, Janice.
Okay.
All right. Helen wants to talk about strategies to help people, specifically relating to their sexuality and orientation. So, Helen, you are on with
Hello.
Janice, Christy, and Nate. Hello.
Howdy.
Hi there.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. So, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Helen, you sound familiar.
Yeah. I thought I would call in for the first time. Anyway, so Janice, I'm really interested because, like Nate and Christy, working with recovering from religion and things like that. What advice do you have and strategies that work for you to help people like embrace their sexuality, to let go of all the shame and pain of their sexuality, and learning to move into those spaces where they learn to express themselves and feel more comfortable with who they are? And the follow-up to that also as well is that, what advice would you give us normal lay people that just have big hearts and want to help people, get, into those good spaces?
Wow. Great questions. Thank you so much. I think it's important for us to give not only each other, but also ourselves lots of space and time to kind of figure out where we fit in and what we are comfortable with. And just like Nate and Christy had said to a previous caller, we don't have to know this right away. We have time. We have time to figure these things out. So of course, research, educating ourselves. So not just about, the different options that are out there, but educating ourselves as far as what we were conditioned to believe when it comes to sex and sexuality, really being willing to look at those things and pick them apart, and determining what's actually true and what is false about those things. So that takes some courage, and that sometimes can be helpful to be done with a therapist for sure. But there's a lot that people can do on their own as well. And really to embrace it as actually quite a joyful time of self-exploration, because we're shaking off those chains. I talk about it in the sense of having worn a corset of Christianity, and I had it so tight, and finally one day, that was it. It just blew open, and suddenly there's this freedom. I have the freedom to be myself, to explore and research whatever I want on any topic. I'm not going to deny myself. If it's not hurting anyone else and it's not against the law, I'm going to explore it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say for myself, it really came down to movies. Getting an opportunity to be exposed to different orientations, different gender expressions, different types of relationships. There is so much value in reading great books. Janice already mentioned Dr. Marlene Winnell and her book, Leaving the Fold. Working with a therapist and these different things. Those are all really valuable strategies. But for me, getting comfortable on like a gut level with all of these things came from listening to podcasts like this. And it came from just watching tons and tons and tons of movies about the queer experience, about sexuality, about gender. All of those things did so much to just get me not intellectually okay with, but emotionally and somatically comfortable with a lot of these things that I had been told to really despise for so many years.
I love that. That is so great. In Canada, we call that cinema therapy. And it's absolutely can be super helpful. And, also getting comfortable for some folks who have had a phobia about pornography or watching sex at all. And there are, of course, ethical porn sites that people can visit and not have any concerns that anyone was harmed or coerced in any way. So that's something for people to consider as well. And not everyone will be comfortable with it, but there is no shame in it either.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I think that, like what you're saying, Christy, about like, you know, seeing people that are like you, you know, in like movies and TV that you can identify with and see that they're just people, you know, I think really helps. And, you know, outside of like, you know, getting therapy, if things are like, this is something you really need to work through, but just having just something you can go, oh, that person is just like me. And, you know, they're a full person. It's just not about their sexuality. I think that stuff is really, really important. So thank you so much for the feedback. This is wonderful. It gives me another little thing to think about, put some little tools in my toolbox. So just want to say thank you, and I'll talk to you all later.
Thank
Helen,
you.
thank you so much for calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good night.
Bye.
Oh, Helen.
You know, I did want to mention one more thing just before I forget, as we were thinking about that call has me thinking about Dr. Ray, because of the books that he has written, and he actually will be talking about religion and sexuality at the conference. And I want to make sure people know that there are some discounts available. I really wanted to make the conference available to as many people as possible. So I tried to keep the ticket prices low. There are 2 options for buying tickets. And also I'm offering a discount for students. And I'm also offering some hardship discounts, because I know a lot of people right now have been laid off because of the virus and the pandemic. And I don't want people turned away simply for the sake that they can't afford a ticket. And all of the sessions will be recorded. And so both ticket types, you have access to the sessions, the recorded sessions, for up to 6 months after. But the top tier full access ticket is $150 US, and that gives you access to the sessions as they're going on, and you can contribute in the question and answer time as well, and you get the recordings. And then we have a ticket that's called a resources ticket, and that's half the price. That's only $75 US, and for that you get access to all of the recorded sessions.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm excited, honestly. I'll definitely be checking all of those things out. And yeah, I am so excited to know not just that this information exists and that it's getting out into hands, but that it is getting into the hands of therapists, that it's getting into the hands of communicators and different people that are disseminating this information everywhere. You know, it maybe is worth taking a moment. I know we've already thrown his name around a couple of times, but as we're sitting here on a podcast started by Dr. Darrell Ray, and I am talking to a co-host who is trained by an organization that he created to recognize the value of the books that he has written, and just the contribution that he has made here is frankly intimidating to think about all of that good work. And I am just so incredibly excited to see people build on that and add to that, and any opportunity to even add a tiny portion of that here tonight as we sort of like build on that legacy is really just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, Darrell is so great.
It's been pretty humbling for a layperson like me to be able to come in and have an actual interaction with a professional healer who's done so much, not just for healing people from trauma as a therapist, but for the secular community as well. And to actually, you know, talk to him and have him as a friend and have him as a resource and be able to reach out to him. You know, he's incredibly involved with RFR. You know, he will read your chats. He will monitor your calls. He is on that like a a hungry kid on a Smartie, you know. So it's really cool for someone like myself to be surrounded by professionals like him and like you, Christy, and like you, Janice. Just a simple country boy trying to keep up here.